Hey everyone, thanks for all your questions, and now let's get straight into the grand unboxing. Now I know this box is small, but I know every single person on this channel is going to love what is in this box. So as I unbox it, I'm actually going to do a Q&A, answer all the questions that you guys asked me live while I unbox this. Let's get started. So the first question comes from the Ghost Godzilla, and he says, thoughts on Blastoise? Well, Blastoise is a really slow character, as everybody knows. I think that his movement speed is going to be a problem, but also the fact that its attacks are really slow is going to be a problem because it makes it really hard to get opponents off you in close range. So you're going to have to be using a lot of rapid spin. This just in general means that Blastoise is going to have to make a lot of reads. If you're that type of player and you love making reads, that's great, but that's not my personal style of play. Now, I think Blastoise is going to actually excel against characters that are very aggressive. Characters like Blaziken, I think, are going to be really annoyed that they do Blastoise's work for it. And when they're getting in, now Blastoise has access to that really obnoxious command counter and 660 HP. So I think it'll do very well, surprisingly, against the more rushed down characters. Alright, so what did I get? I got silent buttons. Now, why is this important? Well, several people on my channel have commented saying that I don't like the sound of the buttons, man. That stuff's too loud. We don't need to be hearing all that crack, crack, crack. For example. Now, personally, sound doesn't really affect me too much because I've been playing fighting games for, since 2010, but other people haven't, so, now I can appease everybody. I can still play on stick, but I also get quieter buttons, and we'll do a compare and contrast at the end of them. So test, now test at the end. All right, so second question comes from Aegis. He actually asked 4 questions, with this cheating, but that's okay, I'll answer all 4 of them quickly. Hold on, let me open this stick real quick first. I guess I'll put the screws in here. Thoughts on a possible sequel for Pokken? Well, knowing how crossover games work, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. It usually takes like 10 years for crossovers to come out, like a sequel, but maybe eventually. I think they're going to be sticking with Pokkén Tournament DX for quite a bit though. What Pokemon would you like to see added to the roster next? Any Pokemon that plays like Shadow Mewtwo, pretty much would be fine with me. Pokemon that has good footsies, good spacing. Really, I just want a character that's like Shadow Mewtwo that has a lot of HP, and I'd be pretty much good. Characters the easiest to learn and the hardest. Blaziken is definitely the easiest character to learn in the game by far. Very simple game plan, very strong game plan still. Hardest, I would say Gengar, and I actually have a video upcoming about the difficulty in learning characters and which character you should pick up when you're just learning the game. Thanks for the questions, Aegis. Next, Clashing DJ asks, what could the new character and supports be for a possible Wave 3? Hope it's Lycanroc. I'm pretty sure they're going to add a Gen 7 Pokemon, so that could be the case. But I'm thinking either a Gen 7 Pokemon or Venusaur. That's what I'm thinking because they have Blastoise now. I think Venusaur would be a pretty... I don't know if it would be a popular choice, but I think it would be a pretty logical choice. Would you think Pokken getting more popular, that there would be more places hosting tournaments for Pokken? Well, the thing is, I can't really answer for sure. Actually, somebody asked a similar question that I skimmed a little bit earlier, so I'm actually going to answer this with that question about players attending tournaments. But thanks for the questions, Clashing DJ. Cutie Celebi, what? Can you hear me? Something about Tekken? Give the people a support guide. Well, there's this dude from Texas that was supposed to make a support guide, but that dude's a little bit of a fraud, and he never actually got around to doing it, so... his name starts with a T and it ends with a Y, if you ever want to hit him up. Coops the Koopa said, this is by far the most entertaining video I've seen. Well, I hope that my matches are more entertaining than my unboxings and my drives, but really glad that you're watching these. Let's see if I can make some progress on this real quick before I answer the next question. Right. Okay, so regular button number 1. It's gonna go right here. Silent button. Really silent? Oh yeah, you hear that? Listen to that. Same force. You like that. Slick L says, is a fight stick or a controller better for playing Pokken Tournament? I am much more comfortable on a stick, but you can play on either. If you play on a controller, as long as you rearrange the buttons so that you can hold your charge moves at the same time as you're pressing other buttons, either one of them is fine. For tournaments, official tournaments from TPCI, they need you to have the Hori controller. So if you're interested in going to those, I would definitely play on the Hori. But if you're like me and you don't really care about TPCI, then you know, a stick is good. I prefer a stick, but they're both good. It's just really personal preference. I know Monkey Ball didn't ask a question, but he said, I like how the car wash is trying to speak over you, kind of like your controller. Dude, I appreciate every single comment on these videos. They're really awesome, and I'm gonna actually hurt them all after I get done unboxing this, or after I get done installing this. All right, Augustin Bordeaux says, you rock, dude, love your stuff. Would love to watch a video about common mistakes in Pokken, both from beginners and advanced players. All right, I'm thinking I can make a video like that. It's gonna be probably pretty short, like 3 minutes long, but no promises, because I actually am backlogged like a lot of videos that I gotta finish. Winter Aesthetic asks, you already explained the advantages of a fight stick in another video, yet how do you actually use it? Which finger is supposed to hit which buttons? Does each finger hover over one button for grabs counters? Do you use 2 fingers or slide one over both buttons? All right, let me show you right here. All right, so this is gonna be reversed. So I'm not sure if I can do some editing tricks to show you, but I actually have it as the default setup in the game. I have light attack, strong attack, block, support, Pokemon move, and jump. And these 2 are empty. They're just for like faking people out. Now, I play Street Fighter, or I used to play Street Fighter a lot before. That was my first fighting game that I took seriously. So in Street Fighter, these 2 buttons on the left are grab, and these 2 are focus attack. In Pokken, they're the same way. Grab, counter attack. So what I do when I play is, you know, I kind of hover over the buttons, yeah. You don't need to be holding them unless it's a charge move. I just hover over them so that I can press any of them, you know, really quickly. So a grab would be like this, counter would be like this, and if I want to do a carry grab, I would like kind of 1-2 like that. I can go a little bit more in depth on why I have the buttons like this, but it's just more comfortable to have, you know, all my attacking buttons over here and then block over here, so I can be holding block and then charging any of the buttons. And having counter just like Street Fighter and grab just like Street Fighter, just really intuitive for me. All right, back to this. Diablo Laquez says, yeah, RP man, I would like to know how to punish the Decidueye's air grab. I use 8Y, but grabs me every time. Thanks, keep up the good work. Also, I would like to know gaps and block streaks or when you have frame advantages if you can. Thanks. Okay, if you're just pressing 8Y preemptively, then there's a good chance that you're gonna get grabbed out of it. But if you can visually confirm that they're going for the air grab, you can, since you're a short character, it takes longer for a Decidueye to get down to you. 8Y is still a good teching option. You just have to do it late, because if you do it early, you're gonna get grabbed out after your upper body invincibility wears off and after your attack's active frames wear off. Now, knowing gaps and block streaks really just comes down to actually studying the frame data and getting familiar with the different moves. So you really just need to play a character in a, you know, in a long set, record matches with them or remember what they did, and then go in training mode and then replicate those moves that they used, and then look up those moves in the frame data and say, okay, so when you press Y, you know, he does the little, you know, twirling flip thing with his little stick. So once he does that, I know that he's at +4 or -4. I think it's -4, but he can also, you know, cancel into a soaring stance. So you know that in your head because you've already looked at the frame data. It really just comes down to memorizing the frame data. Thanks for the question, Diablo Request. Hugo Leon 100 says, why do you think Pokken is significantly smaller compared to other fighting games? All right, so this question is a continuation or similar to one of the questions I was asked earlier about the game getting more popular. Now, this is what I think. I think Slipping Bug was probably the most correct on this. It's still a, you know, a hypothesis, but I think that he's right. Pokken has a lot of players playing. It sold a lot of copies. Even the Wii U version sold a ton of copies. The thing is, I believe that the player base of Pokken is pretty young. Now, based on my analytics in YouTube, that's not necessarily the case. There seems to be a lot of players that are like my age, 24 to 35, that are playing. But I think there are a lot of players that play that can't go to tournaments. There's a lot of young players that like Pokemon. It's actually similar to VGC. There's a lot of Pokemon players, and there's a lot of players that play VGC, but there are a lot of young players too, and they don't actually go to tournaments. Juniors and seniors get like no entrance. Not because they're not there, it's because, you know, they don't have the means to just go to a tournament whenever they want to. So I think that's really what it comes down to, is that Pokken's player base is super young and they don't really travel out to tournaments that much. Thanks for the question. Jimmy Pitt says, is there a place I can find a collection of tournament footage? I'm trying to learn Gengar, but I feel like the guides and high-level players scattered all over the net and in hard-to-find areas. I agree with you very much on that. And Gengar in particular is like that. In fact, Gengar was one of the hardest matches for me to learn for that reason. Really, the only thing that you can really do is go to Pokken Arena, and there's a thread. I'll see if I can link it for you. But it has all the tournament results from all of the major tournaments that have happened. He's been, I think Zypher has been recording it since like 2016. So what you're gonna have to do, unfortunately, is you're gonna have to manually go see which tournament, you know, look up each tournament, and then, you know, go to YouTube and search, you know, X tournament top 8 or whatever. And then if they're all on different channels, it'd be nice if they were all on one channel, but tournament organizers or tournament streamers specifically, they don't like people, you know, taking their videos and putting them on, you know, your channel. Even if you ask, a lot of times they'll either like ignore you or, you know, they're like, nah. So it's like, it depends, you know. So a lot of them are good about it, but some of them are so. And Gengar is very difficult, but what I can do is I can point you to a player, Geno, that knows quite a bit about Gengar, and he's pretty good, so hopefully he can tell you some stuff. One of the other strong Gengar players is Mad Luck. He lives in the United States, but he doesn't really play anywhere. He plays Dragon Ball FighterZ mostly. So he might be able to help you, but I'm trying to do what I can to put guides up for, you know, the characters that I know, so that this isn't as big of a deal. And as you notice, all of, or at least most of the tournament matches that I played in are on my channel. So, you know, I'm trying to do my part, but it's tough. Zexus11, how difficult is it to get into Pokken coming from Tekken and 2D fighters like Blastoise and Under Night? Well, I actually came from 2D games, Street Fighter, and I came from Tekken also. Now, the thing is, Pokken is going to be counterintuitive when you play field phase, because it seems like the options that you should have don't really exist there. You know, you don't really have anti-airs like you should. The movement is kind of weird, but you know, I think over time, if you're playing the right characters, you'll start to like field phase. Dual phase though, I think you'll get into it easily. Pokken's dual phase is very simple, and it's very similar in ways to the 2D games that are out right now. The whip punishing is pretty much exactly like Tekken. So Pokken is quite easy to get into. The mechanics are very straightforward. There's not really that much frame data to learn, because almost all the frame data is in like multiples of 4. And the characters follow very, very similar rules. The only thing that's really majorly different is the armor system, but Pokken's mechanics are pretty simple. So definitely I think it'd be easy to get into. Thanks for the question. Mage Skuro says, what's a good and active chat room to join to find battles or get character tips, as well as what happened to your Darkrai? Okay, let me answer the first question first. I think our Pokken game is the one that I would say is the most kosher to join. I play in the Blaziken Discord because a lot of top players are in there. Toasty's in there, Slipping Bug's in there, Maverick's in there, Roxo goes in there. But we talk a little bit, you know, locker room talk, so I don't know if I would necessarily recommend that. But our Pokken game, you can get a lot of players in there. Twixie's in there and stuff like that, so that's a pretty good spot. What happened to my Darkrai? My Darkrai still exists. I still play. I've been doing like a lot of projects. As you can see, I've been putting up like a video like every single day. Can you either make a beginner or advanced guide for me, or suggest somewhere where I can read up on these things? I'll make a beginner guide. I'm actually in the process of it right now. Somebody else asked me that not too long ago, so I am making the video right now. So it'll probably be like a week and a half though. So for now, I mean, I guess you could look in the Darkrai Discord or the Darkrai forum, but there's not. I don't know. Those didn't help me, so I'm not sure if they'll help you. By the way, are you guys liking this shirt? Because I was thinking of putting it up for sale. I don't know if anybody was gonna buy it, but you know, I just bought it for myself because I really wanted a new shirt. I couldn't find any good skull shirts, so I just bought my own skull shirt. A few more questions here. Noel Solomon says, I think a vital skill to have in any competitive game, especially fighting games, is to be able to watch high-level players in tournaments and matches and understand why they're doing what they are. In tandem with that, a video on adapting to an opponent mid-set or even between rounds would be great. Yeah, I think I can make a video on adapting to opponents. I think that would be pretty simple, so I think I can do that. Now, it may seem simple, but honestly, a lot of the times, knowing why people are doing what they do comes down to just knowing the properties of the attacks. There are a lot of players that they say they're gonna learn frame data and they never do. And that's really the most simple way to understand why people are pressing what button they're pressing in what situation. If somebody's -8 and they immediately backdash, or they jump back, or they 2Y, you can know the properties of all those moves. And you know, I think you'd have a better understanding of why they're doing what they're doing just by knowing the properties of the attack. But I will make a video on adapting to opponents because I've been actually working on that quite a bit. Okay, so this question is super important. I'm gonna answer this. Chris asked, yo, do you have any other Pokken content creators you could recommend? I'm mostly looking for more content that features the technical characters, Gardevoir, Gengar, and Darkrai specifically, but anything goes really. Now for those characters specifically, you know, Ouroboros plays, but he doesn't really make content. Madluck plays Gengar, it doesn't really make content, he plays Dragon Ball FighterZ right now. Darkrai Midori plays, but you know, I haven't seen any of his videos either. I don't know if he makes content. But as far as content creators in general, here are some suggestions I have for you. 21 Hits, they mostly do combo videos, but they also do videos on things like, you know, certain mechanics about the game. Mitchell, very similar, a lot of things that are specific to mechanics. Scats, he uploads just really matches, not really commentary, but he plays Charizard, and his Charizard he's been playing, you know, since 2016, so, you know. Double puts up a ton of videos. He actually has a second channel. I don't even remember what the second channel was called, but he has a lot of matches on there, but I'm gonna link both of those. But his main channel, he mostly plays breaks, and he puts up some matches, and he puts up some, you know, specific tech. Now, if you're looking for content that's kind of like mine, Dual Death Lucario is definitely the #1 player. I think is like, he's growing huge. He's making videos very consistently. He has a lot of fun with the game, and he does commentary that's very similar to mine. So if you want content that's like mine, Dual Death Lucario. Now, as for players that I think are, you know, on the come up, and then I want to give them a little shout out, just give them a boost. Cutie Celebi, she plays and she uploads videos to her YouTube channel. A very new channel, but she's learning the game pretty quickly. Another player is Frosty. He looks like a pretty new player, but his videos are actually pretty high production value, and he has a lot of fun with the game. So I would recommend him if you're just looking for, you know, something fun to watch. And special thanks to Deadly Shock. He's always rolling through the comment section. This dude is the G. So I don't know if he, you know, has really much interest in, you know, uploading a bunch of matches, but special thanks to him because he's really motivating every single time I make a video. And then Domino, he actually hasn't been playing Pokken in quite a while, but he does play Pokemon, a lot of different Let's Plays, a lot of different like fan games and stuff like that, and you know, the main games as well. But he's really been hustling and grinding, so I just wanted to shout him out as well. You know, he puts out a ton of content and he's really energetic about his videos, so that's one more. If I missed anybody, I'm gonna put a link in the description to all the players. Suicune Padawan says, what are things that work on net play, but usually not offline? I always hear about these net play strats, but I'm not sure what they all are. I don't want to form any bad habits from playing online, so I was wondering what would be considered bad. Thank you. And also height properties in Pokken, but besides the high lows, I don't feel I have a firm grasp on it. Like when someone told me about how Lucario's counter was mid-low, and because of that I could just JX it. I had no idea what that implied, but I started being able to stuff it more. So I took that word on it. Perhaps an explanation on that, and move interactions due to high properties. Okay, man, that was a long question. But I actually do have a video about frame data up close. And that is going to involve height properties and stuff like that. So yeah, look forward to that. But it's frankly, it's gonna be like maybe like 2 weeks before I get finished with that one, because I have a few other guides that I'm working on right now. But as for the first question, things that work on net play, characters with slow dashes that dash grab a lot, that's not really a thing. Submission from like far away, not even far away, but like, you know, more than a few steps away. That's some stuff that's pretty strong online. Really, what it comes down to is attacks that people should be able to react to that, you know, that you can't. So I guess I'll just list a bunch of examples, and anything that you can think of that's similar to this, it's like that. EX Bravebird with Blaziken flying across the screen with a move that's that slow that people can react to, they will definitely punish you online. Blaze Kicking when someone's blocking it, They can react to that. Offline, they can react to the gap, and then they can punish you in between that gap. Basically, if you have a move that's slower than 25 frames and you're throwing it out a lot, people can react to that stuff offline that they wouldn't be able to online. CADC grab is another one. That's one of the hugest ones. I think that's probably the biggest one. I'm not sure if I should make like a comprehensive list, but I think you get the point. Moves that are like, you know, slower than 25 frames, they're just not really that fast. Those are things that you'll get blown up for offline, but you can get away with online. And Suikun Padawan also asks, what is scaling? How does rage affect scaling to the point some characters' combo paths change while in rage? Okay, there's actually a thread, I think, specifically that addresses this question, so I'm going to actually link that instead of answering it myself, because I actually don't know the damage calculation on rage when it comes to scaling. So I'm going to leave that for the people that actually did the calculations on that. Okay, so the last two questions may or may not have been in the correct order, but thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you guys, you know, subscribe to and follow those content creators that I listed. And if you do end up on their channels, let them know I sent you. You know, I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And now let us do the final comparison of the noise. Also, if you notice, my buttons are all black. So actually I can do this right here. Silent, regular. Much different, much better. Hopefully guys, this experience will be great. Anyway, I'm gonna be back to putting up regular content. I have a bunch of stuff that's on my computer. Actually, I have some stuff that's on YouTube that's scheduled for upload, but I want to get this one out first because I didn't want it to seem like I was just ignoring you guys. Anyway, thanks for watching the unboxing. Hopefully you guys love the silent buttons and hopefully you got a lot of value out of the questions and answers. I have some great stuff in the description, so like links to playlists and guides. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again for watching and joining me on playing Pokkén Tournament DX.